really think that this was a very significant milestone for us in our history in Kemin. I was recounting with KP Phillip, who really helped found our business here. When we began our business in India, we estimated the Indian feed market at that time probably was about 5 million tons. And a relatively small market, especially when you looked at it in the case of what worldwide feed production was at that point in, say, 1999. When we built the facility, we said that the facility should be able to handle a feed industry of 10 million tons. And a few years later, the industry, certainly enough, had gotten to 10 million tons, and so we expanded. And we felt that would be able to last us until the industry was at 20 million tons. And certainly enough, as we know today, the industry has again grown and substantially past that, now that to 35 million tons estimated feed manufactured within the country. We feel that what we have built today is now sufficient to be able to take on a market of 100 million tons. And I am very confident that the Indian feed industry is going to see 100 million tons, certainly before the end of the 20s. And for that reason, we'll be looking at another expansion, I think, certainly before the end of the 20s here in Chennai. We say that of our growth, our objective is that 80% of our growth comes organically. In other words, from our own research and development areas. 20% of our growth should come from acquisitions. And so we look really, I would say on a worldwide basis, we look for possibilities of where we can acquire a company where perhaps the technology has been proven, maybe in a very limited geography, and that we can take that on a worldwide basis. A very good example is this acquisition which we made basically about 2 years ago of a company called Algal Scientifics out of Michigan in the United States. They were manufacturing a particular beta-1,3-glucan that was from algae that was very good at stimulation of the immune system. They had sold just a little within the United States and had not been able to sell anymore. We've acquired the company and now have started and introduced the product on a worldwide basis. As I said, we are now in the process of expanding the fermentation of this algae to here in India, and that will be the next phase. But it's a good indication of the types of acquisitions we like to make. Shrinking by 20 million tons this year because of the African swine fever. So I think in this particular year, 2019, we're going to see a downsizing of the Chinese market. I see, for instance, that the Indian feed market will continue to grow. That said, we remain very optimistic in China as well. You will see a very large press release in this coming summer. We're opening a 100,000 square foot research and development center in China specifically, and this is really to be able to support our Chinese business across all of our various businesses, whether that is agriculture, textiles, pet food, or human food, or nutraceuticals. All of those areas are being supported.
How much turnover, Chennai division? How much turnover?
The turnover.
Sales
turnover.
Sales is
India division.
400 crores is the turnover. How much? 400 crores.
I was going to turn to Suresh.
With this expansion, what will be the total capacity of Kemin in India?
So currently, we are doing close to 35 million metric ton the current facility. With the expansion, we'll be able to do 3 times capacity, we'll be able to go. So close to till the 100 million metric ton, we'll be able to serve. 100 million metric ton of feed, we'll be able to serve.
Serve 100 million tons. So it depends on sort of which products that we're looking at, but generally that our products have an inclusion rate of somewhere between 1 and 3 kilos per ton.
And we we are also adding some additional facilities, the fermentation facility which is going to come in the existing, in the new plant. Also the new coating technology, especially for the coated urea product, is going to come for the ruminant market. So with that, we'll be able to cover almost close to 100 million metric ton.
I'd like to emphasize that a little more, is that oftentimes international companies have been seen bringing technology into India, into the Indian feed business, and then utilizing it within the Indian feed business. We've been very fortunate here to have a very active research and development team. And the integrated mineral synthesis unit that you saw today is completely a discovery made here in India. And in fact, this will be a case where we at least foresee that this is technology invented in India for India, but we're going to take that technology worldwide and to be able to utilize that on a worldwide basis. And so we now see India as being one of the locations from our research and development standpoint that's actually generating new technology that's going to be affecting the world feed industry. Rather than bringing technology here, we see India exporting technology that is and really demonstrates the viability of research and development here in the country.
Is that the kind of enthusiasm you have that India may have be 100 million tons by the end of 20?
I think, yeah, the enthusiasm I have for the 100 million tons really comes from protein consumption, per capita protein consumption, and seeing what really has to happen within the country. We know that we still have a situation in India where we have people that are not receiving the amount of protein, even on a basic nutritional level that they have. The numbers of stunted children within the country are still way too high. And much of this, at least in my opinion, can be solved through further protein nutrition, especially starting in the layer industry and in the dairy industry.
So if I can
So
add-
what does share Kemin have in world market today?
I'm sorry?
What's the share
What
of
is share?
Kemin market in?
What is the Kemin market share?
Market share. Go ahead.
So again, it depends on which segment we are talking about. When you look at market share, it depends on segment. If you take the animal nutrition and health, if I look at our top 5 categories that we focus on, the share can range from anywhere between 8 to 10% to a high of 25 to 26%. Again, it depends on geography to geography. If I look at our pet food business where antioxidants and palatants, natural antioxidants, we are market leaders, upward of 90% market share. If I look at combination of antioxidants for pet food, it's in the high 70, 72%. Again, if you look at the food technology, we have natural antioxidants as well as synthetic antioxidants for the flatbread industry, as well as for let's say preservatives for the flatbread industry. Again, the natural antioxidants are very large market share. And each of these categories that we look at, product categories or platform categories we look at, we are backward integrated quite significantly, particularly in the plant area. So if you look at the last 5 to 6 years, the way our programs have moved, I would say about 6 to 7 years ago, 15% of our revenues were generated from plant-based products. Today, close to 40% is being generated from plant-based products. So our focus has been sustainable growth. How do we bring programs to the market which are sustainable and also add value to our customers? So our plant-based programs are backward integrated completely. If you look at India, we have very high market share in all the 5 to 7 categories that we focus on. Very high, 25 to 50% market share. So again, depends on the market. I can't use one number globally because the market segmentation is very different.
What's the market size in India
In terms of
animal feed?
So animal feed, I think when we look at India, we look at South Asia totally, which includes Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka and India. It's about 35 to 36 million tons, that will be right, Suresh? Which includes dairy feed, aqua feed and everything.
So you are going to export from this facility?
Yes, to South Asian countries, yes. Currently, even now we are doing exports.
So the exports are two. One is to the nearby geography, one is to, for example, beyond South Asia. If you look at food technology business, we used to manufacture in Singapore and supply Asia Pacific market. Now we have moved that manufacturing to the facility in Gumdipuni. So the Gumdipuni facility will supply food ingredients for the food technology business across Asia Pacific and China as well. Okay. The integrated mineral manufacturing initially will supply other business units that need it. Once we build up critical volumes in another geography, we might set up a manufacturing.
Who are your main competitors?
Again, depending on
Animal.
in animal, again, depending on the category you talk, the competitor is different. If I look at intestinal health, where we are focused on finding alternatives for antibiotics, you would have the Pfizers of the world, or Zoetis of the world, the Rankos of the world as competitors. If you look at nutritional ingredients, Alltech, Biomin, Novus will be competitors. Okay? Just to give you an example.
So what is your market position globally in the animal nutrition business?
When you say market position, can you elaborate a little bit? Like we just talked about market share a short while ago.
Yeah.
So if you again refer to market share, you already have my answer.
Yeah.
But if you can elaborate, if it's a different question, I need to understand before I.
Okay, like you have healthcare products and then nutritional products, under nutritional products, what is the position of Kemin, if you see it, globally?
So our in the animal nutrition segment, our primary focus is safety, health, and nutrition. This is the platforms under which we operate. Now, when you look at safety, our intestinal health products can come under safety. Feed safety could be one where salmonella control can be a major focus area. If you look at health, again, intestinal health products will come in where replacement of antibiotics, providing solutions for customers to manage antibiotic transition and other disease management issues. If you look at nutrition, it's better utilization of nutrition. And we have a series of programs that come in. Mineral nutrition is one, biosurfactant is the other one. Those are the various categories.
I'm not talking about the drugs, it's feed supplements and nutrition products.
Yes.
In that segment, what is Kemin's position globally?
I'm not understanding your question, probably. I'm not.
For the ranking.
So I can say that within the Kemin business, the agricultural or animal feed area remains about 50% of our total business. The other areas then come down, probably pet food next, and human food ingredients, very close to our nutraceutical ingredients. Textile auxiliaries probably is our smallest business today. Is that what you're asking?
What is your marketing setup basically? How you customers know how to build? It is through C&F or directly from your
So, in South Asia, it's like, I would say, 55% direct to customers and 45% through C&F and distribution.
So you're producing only animal food ingredients in this factory or even human food ingredients?
Now, this factory has human food ingredients. I don't know if you remember where we were when we were looking at the packaging of the mineral products. If you've gone to the right, clear to the right of that, there's an entire section that is a different section that is designed for human food ingredients.
And the facility has one of the highest certifications as well, FSSC 22000.
As well as halal and kosher.
So it's within the unit, but a totally separate area.
So overall, where do you see Kemin after 5 years?
Well, that's a whole variety of areas. Again, we've been very fortunate that we've been able to grow significantly each year, and we continue to see growth as one of our core overall focuses. In 5 more years, it's almost within each of our various segments. I can see the growth will continue, and our capital expenditures to support the business will continue to grow. Kemin continues to reinvest nearly 7% of sales back into research and development on a yearly basis. We've got a number of new products that are in the pipeline. New products in our business are taking anywhere from 2 to 5 years to mature. and come about, and I foresee that that will be an active area that you'll see continue to see new products coming from our research laboratory. So I think continue to look for a series of announcements, both on capital expenditures as well as new products to offer into all of our various industries.
In the recent years, we found that Kemin is in India. Kemin is taking part every year for the promotion of egg consumption in the country,
Yes.
Which is a good thing. You are doing it. Apart from that, do you have any plans to help the farmers to get better for the promotion of both chicken and egg consumption?
There's no question that certainly egg production as well as broiler consumption continues to be a real area of focus for us. In my mind, as I see it, each of our products, we make an implicit promise to the farmers with our products, and that is if you invest 1 rupee on a product from Kemin, we guarantee a return of 2 rupees. And in many cases, that 1 rupee investment can yield 5 to 7 rupees. And so with that sort of investment, we believe that the continued growth of our products allows the farming industry to continue to grow on a wide-scale basis, making protein more affordable for anybody who wishes to be able to purchase it. And I think that remains one of our areas. When we see particular opportunities like Egg Day that is celebrated here in India, we're going to be highly supportive of those because we do see that the promotion of these almost perfect protein, animal proteins, is one of the best ways to guarantee adequate nutrition for the population. Maybe Suresh has some comments.
Yes, Chris. In fact, one thing is we are participating like promotion of through the Egg Day and others. Now, apart from that, we are also to produce a quality protein. We actively participate with our customers, especially in importing knowledge and exchange of knowledge from the customers through various programs like we have a lot of training and audit programs which we continues to do with our customers, and in turn they can produce a quality food to the consumers. So that is somewhere Kemin is actively participating, specifically through our customer laboratory service as well as the technical service and the engineering service, all which works to improve the quality and safety of the feed and in turn produce a quality food. So this is an area which actively participates.
KP might have some comments, especially on the aquaculture area, because I see this as a real growing area within the country.
Yeah, I think you have an exclusive president for aquaculture. You can also throw some light on aquaculture.
I was actually going to wait for some silence and then tell you about aqua. But thank you, Chris. Yes. It's quite interesting, actually. Kemin has been in aqua now, particularly in India, for almost 10 years. But it's always been part of our animal nutrition and health business. And more recently, about 3 years ago, in Asia Pacific, out of Singapore, we started focusing on aqua as well. Last year, Kemin made a very serious decision and identified aqua as one of our largest growth opportunities over the next 25 years. If you look at world statistics on aqua or on meat consumption generally, you'll find all other meats, be it chicken, pork, beef, mutton, are all almost plateauing, in some markets even dipping. Aqua is the only animal protein that's actually growing at 3% annually, global numbers I'm talking about. So there's this huge, huge opportunity in aquaculture. And we took this decision, and in Kemin we realized that having it under a different business unit doesn't give it the focus and the energy that is required to be able to really support our customers. So a decision was taken to create a new business unit. And this business unit demerged started last year, and effective 1st January of this year, we have created this new business unit, which is a global business unit, operating out of South Asia, Asia Pacific, the largest market, China, EMENA, which is Europe, Middle East, and North Africa, and Latin America, primarily Ecuador. So a little while ago, there was a question about exports from this plant in Gumadipunni. Interestingly, one of the things we're looking at is exporting aqua products out of India, particularly into South America and Europe, and for Asia Pacific, because we've got some really good research that has developed new products. So what this new focus and the new business unit is going to do is to create specific products for the aquaculture industry. And this will benefit the farmers as well as the feed manufacturers who make aqua feed and grow shrimp and fish in different markets in the world.
Dr. Chris, today when we visited, your operations, you were at Gumadipunni, and we were very happy to see the facilities you have established, and particularly, two R&D farms you have for poultry, which is a very nice thing, which I have not seen with many of the other, your competitive companies. And if that, if you can maintain it, properly and perfectly, I think that can really help the poultry farmers and to have a better production. Similar kind of thing, I also edit a magazine on aquaculture industry for over 25 years, and that industry is not much organized, and water quality and soil management is very poor conditions. The shrimp and fish farmers are facing. If Kemin can have similar like poultry, you have R&D farm, similar kind of thing. If you can establish for aquaculture, I think you can do good to the industry and to your company.
I mean, turn to KP because he's done exactly that.
It's very interesting you should say that. And if you have the time, you should come and visit us in our Ambattur laboratory, where we actually set up trial facilities for shrimp in our laboratory. So anytime, and I welcome any one of you, if you have the time, drop in at our Ambattur office. We've got a fabulous facility for aquaculture trials. Interestingly, also, we have now tied up with universities and organizations, starting actually with the Tamil Nadu Fisheries University, the Kasistad University in Thailand, the University of Ghent, and a university in Ecuador, also to do trials along with us in the area of shrimp and fish. So very much on our radar, Nazir, but thank you for that question. Very, very important part of our business.
But Philip sir, what I was saying, please don't depend on these government agencies or universities. You have in your Gumadipunni plant, like a farm, 2 R&D farms for poultry birds, for broilers.
Right.
Similar kind of, if Kemin has its own R&D, I think you can really do good to the industry and to your company.
So you're absolutely correct.
A sincere feeling.
You're absolutely correct. Now, I'll just explain to you why the universities are also used. And you know our customers, right?
Yeah.
So we use our own R&D farms and laboratories, even the one in Gumadipunni as well as the one we have in Ambattur. A lot of that is done to do internal screening and development of products. When you take data to a customer likes to see an independent third-party data set. They think that if it comes out of a Kemin farm or a Kemin lab, they don't necessarily always give it 100% credibility. Not only Kemin, any company lab, they'll think, oh, this is a... So if you give it to a third party, and all these are the top of the line universities, very well respected by our customers. So we do, in our own labs, reconfirm it and validate it in third party laboratories. And that's the reason we tie up with universities. Thank you.
So the Kemin Biologics is the vaccine business which we have initiated middle of last year. So here, currently this company's Biologics is focused on PRRS vaccine for swine. There's not much swine in India, but in the rest of the world there's a significant swine population, and PRRS is one of the most significant disease that the swine herds are exposed to. So the technology is very unique. We took a stake in a company in the US which developed the technology, and we have exclusive sales and marketing around the world with this technology. So we set up a company to take this vaccine to the market. Our long-term aim is to bring in poultry vaccines as well. We also have an investment in Egypt in a company which is the second largest vaccine company in Egypt. They're primarily focused in the Middle East market. So we have started small, And our next 5 to 10 years, very clearly, this business is going to significantly contribute to our long-term growth in the animal nutrition health. Because if you look at one of the significant challenges our farmers face is disease, and the first line of defense is vaccination. So this is our commitment to this industry from a long-term perspective.
I think that's an important overall strategic aim is that we've said that the immune system of the animal, what can we do to optimize the immune system? And so, of course, there's two types of immunity: innate immunity, which is that which is we have all the time, and then acquired immunity, which comes from a vaccine. So our product Alita, which is we made reference to that we will be expanding that product, which is a stimulant for innate immunity. We're going to be expanding that in India, and then now to be within the acquired immunity area, that's the vaccine and Kemin Biologics. So really working at both sides of the immune response within the animal. And I'm president and CEO of Kemin Industries. Today we were very fortunate to be able to announce we were very fortunate to be able to inaugurate a new manufacturing facility in Gumdipumdi outside of Chennai. This facility is our third large investment within India to be able to continue to manufacture ingredients that go into animal feeds, human foods, as well as pet foods and nutraceuticals. Kemin remains highly committed to India and its nutrition, and we feel, to be able to do this through our customers who have shown us the great loyalty through the past 20 years. We look forward to many more years here in India and many more expansions.